Hi, good day everyone. I am back for the final reflection. Agreement on peace between the government of the Republic of the Philippines and the Moro Islam Liberation Front. My perspective on societal implement. Since then, the Philippines had a presence of communism as the founders enforcer to the outrageous movement. To extend on opposing the government, it what makes the country frustrate that resulted into weak economic growth and social disorganization. I cannot the fact that I witnessed different combat between NPA and military forces there in Davao Oriental. On the other hand, there are also conflicts between the military forces and the Muros, and it could really result in a bloody battle. And thus, I am stuck with the word agreement, and it taught me that in order to obtain the aim of peace and harmony, there must be an agreement between two parties. Additionally, if there is an agreement, there must be enforcement later in order to strengthen ties between groups. We must consider every word of individuals in order for them to do not deprive of their rights to know the truth. And we must work on one strong nation because at the end of the day, we were still human beings seeking for love, peace, and solidarity and harmony. Next reflection is the role of Islam in the history of the Filipino people. Filipinos are slowly but steadily fusing themselves into a national group, a challenging but interesting process. Obviously, granting citizenship and order rights to a group of people living inside defend territory does not automatically results in formation of the national community. Although such as political characteristics certainly help, without awareness of oneself, no national community can exist. This consciousness is usually the result of a long historical process as well as a constellation of the people's expectations and aspirations. And it cannot be considered something developed overnight. A national community is always the state of flux. Aiming to become more a national community, it remembers are attempting to become a more national community. As a result, those undergoing interrogation will form a national community and seek for new components and shared identify position of the national traditions is one such element. Another, it is the existence of shared set of goals and expectations that are linked by the shared ideology. Or in the absence of this agreement on how such the ideology is created or determined. No national heritage can exist without a shared history. By definition, it is the history that is loved and valued in a chronicle of a people's or people development as they build a national community. The Philippine Revolution as well as the precepts and principles of individuals acclaimed as a national heroes. They're key events that have contribution to establish of the Filipino national tradition. According to the majority of Filipinos, the fact that some of our experts are still discussing whether or not certain events in Filipino history should be highlighted, it's simply as a proof that Filipino is still hungry for knowledge. The next is the minutes of proceeding of the National Territory in 1971 Constitutional Convention. I'm stuck with the phrase national territory. Why? it is the priceless and specific topic of the minutes of the proceeding of the national territory at the 1971. So, Constitutional Convention as well as Spaniards persecuted and controlled the Philippine country for a long time. So, they have ruled the Philippines with their own administration since their arrival. So, Filipinos have no authority. However, as a Filipinos, we are not renowned as the bear lions because of our ability to defend ourselves. So, and our national heroes' bravery in sacrificing their own security and safety in order to ensure the country's democratic transition. So, for the country's independence, they fought Spaniards for the freedom of our country. So, and this liberty that we currently utilizing right now is the fruit of our heroes. So, effort on fighting the cruel rulers. So, as a result, the 1971 Constitutional Convention proceeding on national territory, recognizing the territories in the Philippines. So, as we are now the sovereign country, this implies that we must battle for every inch of land and water of our country. We must consider the sacrifices made by our most beloved heroes only for free of the land from colonizer. So, as a result, we must protect, conserve, and preserve our territory and not allow to jeopardize their security. So, now let's proceed to another reflection, which is the 1986 present. So, in the Philippines, the elected president is served as 6 years term. So, the Philippines had several presidents since Aguinaldo, but the cover topics is Aquino through Duterte's administration. So, these are an argument of the various Philippine presidents beginning with Aquino, Fidel Ramos, Estrada, Arroyo, and now the Duterte. The inauguration took place on June 30 at the Malacanang in Manila. These presidents were taking their oaths, making promises, and laying out their plans for our country. So, to be honest, I am very, very happy with the term of Rodrigo Duterte because I can clearly see how he managed to clean up our country's contamination. So, when he says his administration is a bloody, so he truly means it for the betterment of our country. So, he get rid a lot of lawbreakers, especially drug addicts and criminals. Aside from that, he focuses on the Build program. So, as we can see, various institutions and bridges have been built. So, the Manila Bay is also a massively polluted sea, but he took action against it. So, that is why from this president, which is the President Duterte, is the only president I adore and idolize due to his dedication and love of our country.